Hello, my name is Eric Gibbons, and I'm the author of If Picasso Had a Christmas Tree. This is the first book in my series of If Picasso books that focus on, well, Christmas trees, animals, underwater creatures, and then another one on geography and languages. You can see the playlist for this video and see some more information, and I put some stuff in the description, like where you can get this book if you'd like on Amazon or firehousepublications.com. I'm an art teacher, and I worked with 30 other art teachers to create this book. The image on the cover is actually mine, but I had each teacher pick a famous artist throughout history and do a Christmas tree in the style of that artist. We approached this in a very secular sort of way, looking at a Christmas tree as a triangle with a square underneath it. So it's more of a design idea than it is something about, the religious aspect of the holiday. So I'm going to read you these poems, and they're kind of taken off after 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That's the rhyming meter that I used in these poems. And I'm hoping to teach a little bit about each artist as we go through these. I'm going to share 8 with them for you today, but I have many, many more in this book. If Pablo Picasso had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? Pablo loved paint, and he loved to draw. Made art from all things, all that he saw. He drew and used shapes you see everywhere, the triangle, the circle, and even the square. Could this be his? It's bright and it's green, with a candle in front of this holiday scene. He painted with patterns and drew in with lines. His name is remembered for all future times. So we can see lots of hallmarks of Picasso's style in this, and maybe your teacher can show you some examples of other Picasso paintings. This next one is actually a sculpture by a friend of mine. His name is Temple, and he's also an art teacher, and he did a Christmas tree in the style of Louise Nevelson. If Louise Nevelson had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? She liked to make sculptures from all kinds of wood gathered from streets in the neighborhood. Some called it trash, some called it art. She collected things and pulled them apart. She reorganized them in ways that she liked, gluing and nailing them, painting them white. Sometimes she wanted to paint them all black. She did what she wanted, and that was a fact. Our next one is in the style of Cy Twombly. It's another painting that I did for the book. If Cy Twombly had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? Cy, an old man who drew like a kid, with smears and with scribbles and scratches he did. If you look real close, you might find a tree. That smear in the middle, is that what you see? Sometimes he drew big as a house, with lines and scribbles as small as a mouse. Cy was a man with a child inside. Take it from him and scribble with pride. Here's another one that I did in the style of Tamara de Lempicka. She's a famous artist from the Art Deco style in the early 1920s, 1930s. If Tamara de Lempicka had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? She painted so smoothly in all of her shapes. She liked to paint girls, never some grapes. Some would play music while others held a flower, all of them strong, none of them sour. It was hard for a woman in Lempicka's day to get her art noticed somehow and some way. Now her work sells for millions of dollars, hailed as a hero by artists and scholars. This one is in the style of Grandma Moses. If Grandma Moses had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? I bet you'd not seen a red checkered house colored in squares like an old country blouse. She did not start painting till 73. But the works that she did were just heavenly. You're never too old to start something new, and you're never too young. That also is true. She painted because it was so much fun and lived to be 101. The next one is in the style of Mark Rothko. If Mark Rothko had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? He liked to paint pictures with big blurry shapes, stacked and then layered like sweet painted cakes. The outlines he made were so very blurry. Why was this artist in such a great hurry? He didn't have time to sit and paint neat. Maybe he never felt good in his seat. But Rothko, the artist, to paint in this way, to him was a kind of grown-up art play. This next one was painted by Shannon Kiernan Goffin, and she's also an art teacher. And she did this one in the style of Frida Kahlo. If Frida Kahlo had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? Mexico was the land of her birth. Her art was so famous all over the earth. She liked to paint dreams and painting her thoughts. Some were unusual, some were a lot. She painted herself both happy and sad. She painted her feelings, all that she had. Here she's half deer with horns on her head, next to a tree decorated in red. Our last one is by Donna Cooper Smith, and she did it in the style of Vincent van Gogh and is painting Starry Night. If Vincent van Gogh had a Christmas tree, are these the colors and shapes you'd see? Swirls in the sky of stars up in space, making this painting a beautiful place. The stars wrap the tree in holiday light, making it colorful all through the night. Though Vincent was troubled all through his life, his artwork helped him handle his strife. So if you feel sad, lonely, or blue, painting is something you always can do. So again, there are many more artists kind of covered in this book, some that are more abstract. We have collage, very modern sorts of pieces, things that are a little bit more contemporary, like Andy Warhol or even Botticelli and Edvard Munch. So it's kind of a fun book to explore. And in the end, I have some lessons that you can do on your own if you'd like. I'm hoping that maybe you'll take on the challenge of finding an artist in history and maybe painting a tree in their style. Figure out what it is that makes their art special or unique and see if you could do a holiday tree or anything in their style. It's kind of fun to mix it up. It's something that we call parody. So enjoy that and have fun making art.